Jabari found Amina lying beneath the tree, her body still and lifeless. The sight was more than he could bear. The love that had once been so vibrant was now a mere memory, marred by the betrayal and broken promises. The promises that had once bound them together had now become chains that separated them forever. In the heart of a verdant valley, surrounded by rolling emerald hills and a winding river, lay the village of Cato. This village was more than just a collection of huts. It was a vibrant community where every individual played a role in the intricate tapestry of life. The people of Cato lived in harmony with the land and honored the spirits that watched over them. The village was a place where traditions were cherished and the stories of old were told around crackling fires. Each evening, elders would gather the young and old alike to share tales of heroes and gods, of love and betrayal, weaving lessons into the fabric of the community's consciousness. Among the villagers were Amina and Jabari, two young souls whose story was destined to become legend. Amina, with her eyes as deep and mysterious as the night sky, was known for her gentle demeanor and boundless compassion. Jabari, with his warm laughter and infectious spirit, was admired for his strength and honor. Their love story began beneath the grand baobab tree, a majestic and ancient symbol of life and endurance. The tree was a revered sight in the village, its massive branches spreading like the arms of an embracing guardian. It was here, amid the tree's protective shadow, that Amina and Jabari first laid eyes on each other. On that fateful day, the sun cast dappled patterns of light and shadow on the ground as Amina and Jabari met. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft rustling of leaves. Their eyes met, and an unspoken connection sparked between them. They began to talk, sharing their dreams, their fears, and their visions of the future. As they spent more time together, their bond deepened. They danced under the stars, their movements a graceful expression of their shared joy. They celebrated festivals together, their laughter blending with the rhythmic beats of drums. Their love became a symbol of hope and unity within the village. One evening, beneath the sprawling canopy of the baobab, they carved their promises into its ancient bark. The symbols they etched represented their vows of eternal love and devotion. It was a sacred ritual, a declaration that their hearts were forever intertwined. The baobab, witness to their vows, stood tall and steadfast, a silent guardian of their love. But even in a world where love seemed to reign supreme, shadows lurked. The village elder, a wise and respected figure known for his deep connection with the spiritual realm, had long been troubled by a troubling vision. In his dreams, he had seen a dark omen, an impending betrayal that would test the strength of Amina and Jabari's love. Gathering the villagers around a flickering fire, the elder spoke of his vision. His voice was grave, his eyes reflecting the weight of the message he bore. He spoke of a prophecy that foretold a treacherous choice, one that would come from within the very heart of the lover's circle. This betrayal, he warned, would unravel their bond and lead to profound sorrow. The elder's words were met with a mixture of fear and disbelief. In the face of such a dire prophecy, the villagers sought comfort in their traditions and rituals, hoping to ward off the dark fate that had been predicted. As days passed, Jabari found himself increasingly burdened by the weight of the prophecy. He was a man of honor, but the sense of duty to his people weighed heavily on his shoulders. When emissaries from a rival tribe arrived with an enticing offer, Jabari was torn. The rival tribe, seeking to expand their influence, promised Jabari power and authority beyond his wildest dreams. They claimed that by joining their ranks, Jabari could secure not only his own future, but also a prosperous life for Amina. The offer was tempting, a glittering promise of greatness that seemed too good to ignore. One evening, a shadowy figure appeared at Jabari's door, presenting him with a sealed letter. The letter contained an invitation to join the rival tribe and a vision of the power that awaited him. Jabari's heart was torn between the love he felt for Amina and the alluring prospect of achieving greatness. He struggled with his internal conflict, weighing the potential benefits against the cost of abandoning his beloved. The promise of power seemed to overshadow his commitment to Amina, and the decision became an agonizing dilemma. After much soul-searching, Jabari made the fateful decision to leave the village. His departure was shrouded in secrecy, as he believed that by leaving without a word, he could protect Amina from the burden of his choice. He packed his belongings and left under the cover of darkness, his heart heavy with sorrow. Amina, unaware of the true nature of Jabari's journey, waited for his return with unwavering faith. Each day, she visited the baobab tree, hoping to see Jabari's familiar figure approaching. She clung to the promises they had made, believing that love would prevail despite the distance that now separated them. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Amina's hope remained unshaken. She continued to wait, her heartache masked by the quiet strength of her devotion. The village watched in sympathy as Amina's once bright eyes grew dim with longing. Jabari's journey took him to the stronghold of the rival tribe, where he was initially welcomed with honor. However, the reality of his new position quickly became apparent. The rival tribe's leaders, driven by their own ambitions, manipulated Jabari and used him as a pawn in their power games. The promises of glory and power soon turned into a nightmare. Jabari found himself entangled in a web of deceit and political maneuvering. The very people who had welcomed him now conspired against him, exploiting his ambitions for their own gain. As Jabari faced betrayal from those he had trusted, he realized the gravity of his situation. The power he had sought was illusory, and the price of his ambition had become painfully clear. He was left feeling disillusioned and regretful, his dreams of greatness shattered. Back in Cato, Amina's hope began to fade. The vibrant woman who had once been a symbol of joy was now frail and despondent. The village, though sympathetic, could do little to ease her heartache. Amina continued to wait by the baobab tree, her spirit withering as the seasons changed. The villagers watched in sadness as Amina's health declined. They offered words of comfort and prayers, hoping that somehow Jabari would return. But the days turned into months, and the hope that once burned so brightly began to flicker and die. After what seemed like an eternity, Jabari returned to the village. His arrival was met not with celebration, but with a somber realization of the cost of his choices. The once strong man was now a shadow of his former self, his demeanor reflecting the weight of his regret. Desperate to find Amina, Jabari searched the village, his heart pounding with anxiety. The villagers, their faces etched with concern, directed him to the baobab tree. Jabari's heart sank as he approached the sacred spot, hoping against hope that Amina was still there. Jabari found Amina lying beneath the baobab tree, her body still and lifeless. The sight was more than he could bear. The love that had once been so vibrant was now a mere memory, marred by the betrayal and broken promises. He knelt beside her, tears streaming down his face as he clutched her hand. The reality of his choices hit him with crushing force. The promises that had once bound them together had now become chains that separated them forever. The baobab tree, once a symbol of their eternal bond, stood as a solemn witness to their tragic fate. The village mourned deeply for Amina and for Jabari, whose return had only deepened their sorrow. The baobab tree, once vibrant with the lovers' carved promises, now stood as a monument to the heartbreak of lost love. The tree, adorned with offerings and symbols of grief, became a place of remembrance. Jabari's remorse was palpable. He stayed in the village, seeking redemption and attempting to honor Amina's memory. The villagers, though saddened by the tragic turn of events, recognized the depth of Jabari's regret and the lessons that came from his tale. This story is deeply rooted in African cultural values. It reflects the profound significance of destiny, promises, and the impact of betrayal. In many African traditions, love is viewed as a sacred bond, intertwined with the spiritual realm. Betrayal, especially from those closest to us, is considered a grave offense with serious emotional and social repercussions. The baobab tree, with its ancient and enduring presence, symbolizes the strength and fragility of human connections. It serves as a poignant reminder of the lessons about love, trust, and the consequences of broken promises. We invite you to reflect on this tale and share your thoughts. Have you experienced the pain of unfulfilled promises or betrayal? We'd love to hear your stories and insights in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through the heartbreak of the eternal lovers. May this story remind us of the profound impact of love, the pain of broken promises, and the enduring lessons that come from our deepest emotions. Until next time, let us cherish and honor the stories that connect us to our past and to each other.